Hi everyone, this is Lanier Smith from Sense Memory, and this is part 2 of my conversation with Michal Gizinski and Hilary Randall, and we're discussing the second fragrance that Michal brought over for us to share and enjoy. So I hope you enjoy it too.
Here it is once again, Hilary and Michael and myself. I would like to introduce you to something that will be coming to the United States in about a month, in August of 2016. A fragrance that very much made me wonder about how it is possible to make that mystery of a fragrance from the moment I smelled it. It is called Absolue D'Osmanthe. It is made by Perris, by the family of Perris. They reside in Monte Carlo. They are owner of Aubigon perfumes. They created several fragrances that definitely some of which is very much worth talking about. But this is a very special fragrance. Osmanthus is on its own extreme rarity, often used in a cuisine in Asia and in few parfums, and it always added that specific note that made that fragrance very unusual and very memorable. To take the absolute of it and put on the skin transported me once again to the world of scents that I did not smell since I was a child. The mystery of it, and we can talk, and we will often hopefully, about the beauty and nobility, as we talked in Iris de Champs, and sensuality. There are many words that describe certain fragrances. Mystery, except mystère barocha, is something that is a true rarity in a real sense of the world. And that Absolue D'Osmanthe of Perris, in my opinion, has it. It is a beautifully taken fragrance, which has a jasmine, which has a petal of rose, which has a sandalwood and ambre. But Osmanthus that peers through it gives you a fragrance of a shadow. That's how I would call it.
Yes.
It is a shadow that you put on you that is mysterious, and it is unknown. It is a fragrance of unknown, but of unknown as unknown beauty could be. Extremely sensual in a way. It's so interesting. We talked a moment ago about one of the legends of the cinema, Greta Garbo. So in a feminine way, it will be a Greta Garbo mysteriousness, or who would be a male equivalent of that, in your opinion?
European actor. Let's see.
Franco Nero.
Franco Nero.
To me,
For
someone
example.
who was maybe not as pretty, but someone who is...
Jean-Paul Belmondo?
I almost think a little bit of, oh God, what is his name? Anton Walbrook in The Red Shoes. Because he was someone who was magnetic and hypnotic and charismatic without being the prototype of the young leading man. His energy, his passion, his troubled emotions, to me, relate in that film that hypnotic power that he had over Victoria Page. And in Osmanthus, and it's interesting to me that you would recall that because from your childhood, because Osmanthus is related to lilac, which I know
Oh,
is
right.
something that you have loved through your life, and it's in the same family. If you look at the petals of the osmanthus, it's the same shape as the small lilac petals.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And I think sometimes it's called tree olive. It's in that flowering olive family. And as well in Chinese and Japanese tea traditions, Japanese, I think it's called kinmokusei. This ingredient is evocative of the fragrance that one smells and swallows of beautiful fragrant green teas and oolong teas. So this is an element that is compatible and synergistic with tea, as well as having this amazing recollection of apricots and white suede. And when I smell the Perris version, as well as a few other fragrances that use osmanthus, this to me is the most fully formed scent of osmanthus with the perfumer's art. It's not a straight botanical.
Correct.
It shows the magic and the alchemy of a true perfumer. It's magical. There is a sense of leather and fresh and dried apricots, a little bit like that sensuality of Femme by Rochat with the plum, the dried plum and leather, and sense of a sensual subtlety. I think that with the osmanthus fragrances that I've smelled, that this particular version by Perris has the greatest thought, the greatest consideration of how to create an accord that is really mysterious and powerful beyond the botanical, but beyond the botanical note.
There's a lot of depth.
A lot of depth.
Absolutely.
And great sillage and great life on the skin. It is magical and sensual. It's a beautiful, beautiful fragrance.
Jean-Michel Santorini and Gianluca Perris are the creators of it. Gianluca, who created several, you met him.
Yes.
And Jean-Michel Santorini, we have not met, hopefully we will. But they are creators, Absolue D'Osmanthe. What are your thoughts, Michael,
Well,
on that?
I'll tell you, mine are completely in another era and another area and era. But when you mentioned shadow, it just kind of crystallized for me. This I see just after twilight. The sky is that kind of purpley blue with a little tinge of orange at the bottom, and there's an open window, and the breeze is blowing the curtains, and suddenly a boy appears, and he's looking for a shadow.
Oh.
And that's what I smell. I smell Peter Pan finding a shadow.
Oh, what a great image.
That's what I smell. It's so gorgeous. I just love this one.
It is gorgeous.
And the thing that also impresses me about this scent is that osmanthus has been used in other fragrances as well. Not a huge amount, but I'd say some with some well-known houses. Let's say there's the Osmanthe Yunnan of Hermès. There's the Datura Noir, which includes osmanthus from Serge Lutens. There is the unacknowledged scent of osmanthus in Dime Blonde, as well as the Jeffrey Dame Perfumery osmanthus oil. But to me, all of them are interesting and worth smelling, but don't have the imagination and the skill of this particular
is phenomenal.
fragrance.
Yeah, this is phenomenal. I know exactly what you're talking about, Hilary.
Yeah.
And this one, it's magic.
It's magic, and it's complicated. It's not simplistic. It's not something that is done with a quick, a quick skimming of the notes and their use. This is a fragrance that had thought and focus and a real sense of mystery.
I agree.
Yeah.
You mentioned that Iris de Champs took 8 years to make. Was this one a long labor also?
Probably not as long of a labor as Iris de Champs because of the nature of making of the fragrance, but I assume they had that on their thoughts some years ago. And it comes in two forms also. It comes as l'extrait, which will be available in a 50 milliliters bottle, and eau de parfum. Eau de parfum has incredible sillage, as we mentioned. When you have a chance, try it. You are ready for some mystery of an incredible kind. A true innovation in today's perfumes with the Absolue D'Osmanthe. Once again, it's Perris collection, the newest addition to their collection privée. Gianluca Perris, Jean-Michel Santorini, coming in about a month to the United States, to Neiman Marcus, in both eau de parfum and in pure perfume. A great, completely different take that I did not expect, expecting something of a novelty, thinking that I know Osmanthus. Osmanthus for me was first and for most of the time different company Osmanthus, which was
a different company, exactly.
Which was pretty interesting, but once again it was sort of a good, beautiful single noteness.
Yes.
And here, this Osmanthe of a shadow shows up and brings a completely different dimension.
And I'd like to add
fragrance.
too that the beauty of this as a unisex is that there is a very strong sense of leather in the dry down, which I think can also make it work for an all-season fragrance. I smell like a suede, and it's different. It's a little like Dime Blonde of Serge Lutens, but Dime Blonde to me is more simplistic. It's the extroverted scent, whereas this again is introverted, and it's thoughtful, and it is a good scent for all year round for men or women because of the subtlety and complexity of the way the notes are arranged.
Yes, absolutely.
Just amazing.
Michael, anything you would have to add about our newest?
It's on my want list. That's all I have to say.
It's on my want list.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank
Absolutely,
you.
Ismail.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Michal,
Showing
for
us.
sharing
Yes.
this.
That's wonderful.